When the temperature and humidity spike, it is completely natural to retreat indoors. Down here, we call it the summer hibernation. You stay inside the safety of the air conditioning, sitting in your favorite chair for months at a time to escape the heat. It is comfortable and it feels safe. But while you are resting in that cool air, your body is quietly making mechanical adjustments to this sudden lack of movement. Then, the day comes when you finally step out to run errands or take a walk near the beach, and suddenly your legs feel incredibly heavy, shaky, and weak. It feels like your legs have turned to jelly. You might even hesitate to take a step, suddenly terrified that your own foundation is going to give out on you. It is a terrifying feeling. I hear my patients say all the time that they feel like they aged 10 years overnight, and they assume this wobbly feeling is just an inevitable decline. I want you to take a deep breath, because I promise you this is not a permanent life sentence, and you are not losing your independence. But this sudden, terrifying weakness isn't just you getting older overnight. It's a silent, rapid physical change happening to the muscles in your thighs every single hour you sit in that cool air.
To understand exactly what is happening in those thighs while you sit in that cool air, we need to talk about a temporary condition I call air-conditioned atrophy. Your leg muscles, specifically the quadriceps on the front of your thighs, are made up of millions of powerful, fast-twitch muscle fibers. These fibers are your body's ultimate shock absorbers and stabilizers, but they operate on a very strict, unforgiving biological rule: use them or lose them. When the brutal Florida heat forces you to stop taking your daily walks, your body assumes you simply don't need those heavy, energy-burning shock absorbers anymore. So it begins to break them down. Within just a few short weeks of your summer hibernation, those thick, strong muscle fibers literally begin to shrink and die off. To understand exactly what is happening in those thighs while you sit in that cool air, we need to talk about a temporary condition I call air-conditioned atrophy. Your leg muscles, specifically the quadriceps on the front of your thighs, are made up of millions of powerful, fast-twitch muscle fibers. These fibers are your body's ultimate shock absorbers and stabilizers, but they operate on a very strict, unforgiving biological rule: use them or lose them. When the brutal Florida heat forces you to stop taking your daily walks, your body assumes you simply don't need those heavy, energy-burning shock absorbers anymore. So it begins to break them down. Within just a few short weeks of your summer hibernation, those thick, strong muscle fibers literally begin to shrink and die off. Without that dense muscle to brace your leg, every step you take feels unsteady. Your foundation is quite literally missing its scaffolding. And because those weakened muscles can no longer act as your brakes, they can't catch your body weight. Every step sends a jarring, painful pressure straight down into your aging knee joints. That is exactly why your legs feel like jelly. It is not a permanent disease, and it is absolutely not an inevitable part of turning 70 or 80. It is simply a temporary loss of muscle mass due to your indoor environment. Your muscles are just asleep, waiting for the right mechanical signal to wake back up. The amazing news is that human muscle tissue is incredibly resilient. Even if they have thinned out, we can stimulate those fast-twitch fibers to grow thick and strong again at any age. But when your legs already feel this weak and wobbly, the absolute last thing I want you doing is a complicated standing exercise where you might lose your balance. Now that you can physically see how this indoor hibernation is shrinking your body's natural shock absorbers, we need to immediately rebuild those fibers without putting you at any risk of falling. To immediately rebuild those fibers without putting you at any risk of falling, we are going to start right where you are most comfortable, sitting down. When your legs already feel like jelly, the last thing you need is a complicated balancing act. We have to wake up your muscles in a completely safe, zero-impact environment.
I call our first step Protocol 1, the seated 3-second squeeze. This single, simple movement acts exactly like a set of jumper cables for your dormant leg muscles. Our goal is to specifically isolate the quadriceps, those massive shock absorbers on the front of your thighs that have thinned out during your summer hibernation. Here is how you do it. Sit tall in a sturdy chair. Keep your left foot planted flat on the floor and slowly straighten your right leg out in front of you. Now, this next detail is the secret to making it work. Once your leg is straight, I want you to pull your toes back, pointing toward your face as hard as you can. The very second you pull those toes back, you force that entire quadricep muscle to completely engage. You are physically commanding those fast-twitch fibers to wake up. Once the leg is straight and the toes are pulled back, squeeze that thigh muscle as hard as you comfortably can and hold that contraction for 3 full seconds. Watch what happens inside the joint during those 3 seconds. That active muscle clamps down and acts exactly like a custom-fit knee brace, locking your kneecap firmly into place. 1, 2, 3. Then slowly lower it down and switch to the other leg. It is a slow, deeply controlled movement. No swinging, no momentum, just pure muscle isolation. I want you to do this for just 10 repetitions on each leg, twice a day. You don't need a gym membership, and you don't even need to leave the air conditioning. You can do this while you're watching the morning news, reading a book on the lanaya, or sitting at the kitchen table. After just a few days of these jumper cables, you are actively reversing that air-conditioned atrophy. You are literally rebuilding the thickness of your biological shock absorbers. Your quadriceps act as the brakes for your body. When these muscles are strong, they catch your weight when you walk downstairs or step off a curb, keeping that jarring pressure off your bones. You'll notice very quickly that your legs no longer feel like trembling jelly. That terrifying wobbliness will begin to fade away as your foundation solidifies. You have successfully woken up the brakes on the front of your legs. But to truly power out of a low chair and walk with confidence, we have to turn around and fire up the massive engine on the back.
You have successfully woken up the brakes on the front of your legs, but to truly power out of a low chair and walk with confidence, we have to turn around and fire up the massive engine on the back. While your quadriceps protect your knees, your glutes and hamstrings are the actual engines of your body. They are what physically propel you forward and hold you upright when you walk. When these engine muscles go to sleep during your summer hibernation, your lower back is forced to do all the work, which is why you might feel so stiff. We are going to turn that engine back on safely with Protocol 2, the kitchen counter kickback. We are using the counter because I want you to have 100% balance and safety. Stand tall at your sink or island. Hold on with both hands. Keep your chest up, look straight ahead, and slowly squeeze your right leg straight backward behind you. Watch the targeted isolation here. You don't need to kick high. Just moving that leg back a few inches forces those massive, dormant muscle fibers in your glutes to immediately fire up. Hold it there for a second and then slowly lower it. Now you might feel a deep, surprisingly intense burn in the back of your leg after just 3 or 4 of these. I want you to listen to me. Do not be afraid of that burn. That is not pain. That is simply dormant muscle tissue waking up and demanding fresh circulation. It is the feeling of your engine coming back to life. Do 10 slow, controlled squeezes on the right leg and then switch to the left. Now here is the most common mistake. Do not lean your chest forward over the counter. If you lean forward, you turn off the glutes and strain your lower back. Keep your spine perfectly straight. Let the muscle on the back of your hip do every single ounce of the lifting. Do this every morning while you wait for your coffee to brew. It takes exactly 2 minutes, and it fundamentally changes the structural support of your pelvis.
You are actively rebuilding the muscular scaffolding around your hips and knees. You are no longer relying on fragile joints to hold you up. You are relying on powerful, activated muscle. Suddenly, that wobbly, heavy feeling starts to disappear. Your legs feel grounded. Your foundation feels solid again. By rebuilding the brakes on the front and the engine on the back, your leg muscles are finally awake, which means it's time to put them together in a daily movement that mimics exactly what you do in the real world. By rebuilding the brakes on the front and the engine on the back, your leg muscles are finally awake, which means it's time to put them together in a daily movement that mimics exactly what you do in the real world. Because let's be honest, true leg strength isn't about how much you can lift in a gym. It is about having the power and the confidence to get up out of a low chair without feeling like you are going to fall back down. To give you that confidence, we're going to use something called habit stacking. I call this final step Protocol 3, the commercial break power-up. Instead of carving out special time to exercise, you are simply going to use the commercial breaks during your favorite evening show. When the commercials start, I want you to scoot to the very edge of your seat. Lean your chest forward until your nose is over your toes. This shifts your center of gravity perfectly. Now, using those freshly awakened muscles, press firmly through your heels and stand up smoothly. Look at how the body works when it is in harmony. Your front brakes and your back engine are now firing together in perfect synchronization. Your joint is completely protected by muscle. But standing up is only half the battle. The real secret to bulletproofing your weak legs happens on the way back down. I want you to take a full 3 seconds to sit back down. 1, 2, 3. Do not just drop or plop into the cushion. Resist gravity every single inch of the way. That slow, controlled descent is called an eccentric contraction. It is medically proven to be one of the fastest, safest ways to build thick, functional muscle fibers at any age. Try to do this stand and sit motion 5 times during just one commercial break. It takes less than a minute, but it completely transforms your lower body. You're telling your nervous system that you still need those fast twitch fibers. You're proving to your own body that you are still capable, strong, and entirely in control. When you combine these 3 simple movements into your daily routine, you aren't just doing exercises. You are fundamentally rewriting the way your lower body supports your entire life. Fundamentally rewiring the way your lower body supports your entire life means you no longer have to accept that heavy, wobbly feeling as a permanent part of getting older. That summer hibernation might have put your leg muscles to sleep temporarily, but now you have the exact mechanical blueprint to wake them right back up. By jump-starting your front brakes with the seated squeeze, turning on your back engine at the kitchen counter, and mastering that slow descent during commercial breaks, you are actively rebuilding the dense, fast-twitch muscle fibers that act as your body's ultimate shock absorbers. You are transforming your own living room into a sanctuary for strength and independence without ever needing to lift a heavy weight or join a gym. Your foundation is solid again. Your delicate joints are fully protected by strong muscle, and that terrifying feeling of your legs turning to jelly is finally a thing of the past. You can get back to taking those long walks, running your errands, and actually enjoying the beautiful Florida sunshine without constantly worrying if your legs will hold you up. Thank you for letting me into your home today. Remember, your muscles are incredibly resilient. They are just waiting for the right signal. Give them that signal today. You've got this.